And so this is our first endeavor into joint projecting.
Yes.
So I'm going to work on being patient. She's going to work on being...
Me? Only my third time ever in a side-by-side. I did not grow up with motorized vehicles. I grew up cross-country skiing, biking, two wheels, everything was human-powered. Skateboarding, paddling. Being married to this guy has expanded my world to motorized vehicles and fun, and I'm still getting used to it, but it's growing on me.
See that red down on the bottom left? Big red thing, pull it out.
This?
Yep, push it in. Pull it out. Top, bottom.
I don't understand what it's supposed to be.
Not a bad sight to end the day. Wow.
So we are going to leave this drilling, screwing, putting screws in the wall operation because, let's face it, you can only watch so many screws going in a wall.
I normally would never care about this, but I married a first aid instructor, so she's more concerned with
Keeping it clean and not getting infections.
All right, in this episode, we're going to take that little teeny tiny shed back there and maximize the storage capacity. We're going to try and show you 10 different ways to get some efficient use out of the storage space in a garden shed. Whether you got a big one, small one, there's going to be some solutions for you in this video. By the way, if you're new around here, my name's Thad.
My name is Kayla, and we are the Off-Grid Dreamers. And I don't know if you've ever tried to do some DIY projects on your own, or even if you tried to do some together, but we're gonna find out what happens when we work together on this project today.
You may not know it, but we just bought an off-grid property. We've been living off-grid for a few years, traveling and camping, but this is our first time doing an actual physical property together.
Yes.
And I've owned several homes. I've developed several properties. I've been a general contractor. I've built lots and lots of stuff, run all kinds of equipment, done all kinds of stuff. And Kayla?
I've made a birdhouse, maybe a few other things, but I don't have the same skills that he does or knowledge. So this is going to be a learning experience.
And it's new for us. We're not newly married, but we've been married about 4 years. And since we've been married, we've been on the road, traveling full time, living out of our RV. We've done some projects, but mostly I've done the DIY stuff and taking care of RV repairs and truck repairs. And so this is our first endeavor into joint projecting.
Yes.
All right, we're all laid out. What's that mean, babe?
Laid out, which I just learned, means that all the tools are put out, everything's plugged in, batteries are in the charger, and everything is ready to go.
So instead of saying, roll out the extension cord, plug this in, do that in, and telling you all 27 steps, I can just say, hey, can you get everything laid out?
Yes.
And now you know what it means.
It does. I do.
And the other, there you go. The other thing that's really helpful and a good helper when you're working on a project like this or any construction stuff is to have somebody that's taking care of battery management.
Yes.
We live
never want to be dead.
Yeah, never have a dead battery.
I feel like there's a good life lesson there too.
Never let your battery die.
Well, no, if your partner's running out of juice, make sure they got some good stuff in them to keep them going.
Yeah, and she does a really good job of keeping good stuff in me. Vitamins, lots of vitamins, and water, food, all the good stuff. Otherwise, like a lot of guys, I just work.
We're a good team.
Go, and we are a good team. It's about that time. Let's get some stuff done. I'm going to jump in the shed. Yes. I'm going to show you guys a quick glimpse, tell you what we're thinking about doing in here, and then we are going to get to work making sawdust.
Woohoo!
We have a little 8x12 storage shed with just a regular gable roof, not a barn style, so it doesn't have as much loft room as a typical barn style. I'm kind of fond of sheds because when I mentioned earlier that I used to be a general contractor, I had a shed business is what I started out as, a company in Montana called Big Sky Mini Barns, where we built portable storage buildings like this thing that we're in. Dog kennels, chicken coops, you name it. Excited to get in on this little project and make some sawdust. We're going to build some frames, what I would just call a shed shelf frame. And we're going to do a U-style layout in here with a partial loft. And then we're going to do a small workbench area, and we're going to leave room for tall items to be leaned up in the corner. So when it's all said and done, I think we got it mapped out to have 10 different modes of storage in here. Okay, so for those of you that might be kind of new to cutting things and laying things out, I'm just going to give you a couple of tips here. When you're making a mark and you come along here and you pull your tape measure up, say we want to cut this thing at 2 feet. So you always want to make sure, like if this is your good side, you want to put your saw blade on this side over here. Okay, so I'm going to show you what that looks like up close. When I move my board back and forth, if I come over this way, obviously I'm too short. If I cut directly on my line, you're going to notice how it'll cut away too much material. So I want to be just to the other side of my line. If this is my good board and the other side is my cutoff, I want to make sure my cut takes out the bad side of the board. So you can see just a skosh of pencil left there, which means the side that I wanted that length is going to be the correct length. All right, now let me show you one more trick. So if you need to cut several pieces of the same length, what a lot of people do is they'll put it up on top of their lumber like this, they'll flush it up on the end, and they'll make a mark, throw it, grab the next one, make a mark. The problem is every time you cut one of these and you use it, and then you take the next one and you use it, you're liable to stretch or shrink because not every cut is perfect. So if you want to use a piece to remark the next several pieces, make sure you always cut one master. And if you're doing a lot of parts and pieces, you can just make yourself a little M for master as sort of a cheat. And then you use the master to do the mark. And so you transfer from the original, set this one to the side, make your cut, set your cutoff piece to the side, grab your master again, come back over here, make your mark, now you have a whole bunch of perfect copies of the original instead of a bunch that end up too short or too long, which is really frustrating when you go to put your shelves together. So let me throw these over here, cut out a few more parts, and then I'll show you how we are assembling these shelf frames. What we're going to do here is a couple of really short shelves. So they're only going to be, these particular ones for this section are just 30 inches long. You grab your tape. If you're a good carpenter, you leave your tape measure laying around all over the place. That's just part of the process. So you're gonna pull your layout. So for 30 inches, I wanna have one right in the middle at 15. So I'm gonna mark 15 3/4. I'm gonna give myself a layout mark like this. And I'm gonna mark myself an X on this side of it. Because, keep your camera in here close, because when I pulled, I want the piece of wood to be right here so that the center of my piece of wood is at the center. So I measure 15 3/4. 3/4 is half of an 1.5 inch piece of lumber. And then I'm gonna put my far edge of my lumber there. And then that ends up making it so that the frame piece is in the center right where I want it. So you always make your layout, if you're using 1.5 inch material, wherever your mark is plus 3/4, and then hold your dimension back. So let's put this together. It's gonna look something like this when you go to put it together. Now, because I'm gonna screw this together with wood screws, normally I would probably put this together with nails and stuff, but I don't have all of my tools here on the site. So we're gonna be putting it together with just 2.5 inch wood screws. And this wood is super, super dry, and I'm gonna be putting screws in right here near the end of it. And if I just go and put a screw in here, it's gonna pop right apart because it's super dry and it's too close to the end. So this is a bit more labor intensive than just putting it together with a nail gun, but it'll work and it helps everything go together correctly without any splitting. It's also something that anybody can do. Just about everybody nowadays has a cordless drill that you can put a drill bit in, and everybody has these drivers to put screws in. So I'm just gonna come in here and give myself a couple of pilot holes. Then I'm gonna come over here, just make life easy. I'm making sure that these are on center. And I'm just flipping this around to make it easy to work on. You'll notice I'm not putting the drill, the hole too close to the edge. I'm not going too close to the top. I'm not angling it like this or this. I'm going nice and straight right in, okay? And then what that does is those give me the pilot holes. So I'll go ahead and put these in over here. Okay, so when you're doing this, you want to make sure that this edge out here is nice and flush. You want to make sure you don't have your board twisted like this where it's not going to be square, or poking out a whole bunch like this where you can feel an abrupt edge. So as you're lining up your board, you're kind of using your finger on the end to kind of feel this and smooth it out. And then you're going to use your 2 pilot holes. So you're actually putting screws in kind of while you're holding it. And if you can come around the outside out here, I'll just show you a little trick. For people that have done lots of this is sort of second nature, but if you've never done it, when you put your hand over to hold the board, you notice how I can adjust the board like this. And I can take this finger, and as I'm simultaneously holding the board in place, I'm also getting it lined up and kind of feeling it out. And so it's sort of an all-in-one motion. And then you put your screw in. So we're going to jump on and just continue on with these. So this one's a little bit different because it's right in the middle. I don't have an edge to get over. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this line that I made in my layout, I'm marking it, line it up with this side. The X tells me which side, so it doesn't go like this side. It goes on this side because that's where I marked my layout. And then I'm going to come across here, throw some screws in real quick. So in a case like this, where this is low and this is high, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to have to kind of do a little bit of practice moving there so I get that nice and flushed up. If you're brand new to this and this is not something you're familiar with, it takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of coordination, and if you're not there yet, that's okay. You can easily pull this off with 2 people and an extra set of hands. Okay, so what we got here is one shelf frame for a small little shelf and a lower, it's going to be a little workbench area and a small little shelf down below it. And what you can do to test if it's square is measure from corner to corner, and then we make little tweaks to get it square. So we're 35 that way, and we are 34 3/4 that way. So this side's short, which means this thing needs to rack this way. So still 34, a little over 34 3/4, 34 7/8. That's close enough until we put a piece of plywood. So when we cut the piece of plywood for the top, it'll be square, and we'll use the plywood to kind of adjust and square things up. So there you go. That's the very basics of how we're going to assemble all these frames. All the frames are assembled the same way. It doesn't matter what size we're doing. If we're doing a small one like this, a great big long one, or the loft frame, they're all assembled with the same steps. So I'm going to stop giving you a step-by-step tutorial, get to work, cut out all the parts and pieces, put all the shelves together, and then we'll show you how we install them on the walls. All right, let's cut some more pieces.
Thanks for helping me, teaching me how to build a shelf. All right, so we are going to leave this drilling, screwing, putting screws in the wall operation because let's face it, you can only watch so many screws going in a wall. He's in his happy place, but I'm kind of bored with that part. I'll help, but there's a lot of screws to put in, and he doesn't need my help anymore. So while it's been really great working alongside my husband and learning things, because I do enjoy learning things and I do enjoy being outside and working with my hands, the thing that's been really fantastic is the view. And it doesn't hurt to have an amazing view when you're doing different projects outside. And so I've definitely got distracted multiple times today, or just when times that I haven't been needed, and just looking out and seeing how the light hits the different plants, the mountains, the rocks, and noticing different things. And I'm sure it's going to change day to day as the seasons change, and even just as the clouds and everything. So it's been pretty cool. And I've been doing a lot of daydreaming about different things that we can do on the property just to enhance just the beauty and the enjoyability of people. Is that even a word? Enjoyability? The enjoyment? There we go. Of people who come and visit. So different like little seating areas and gardens and pathways, putting in vegetation. Obviously, there's a lot to learn with that too, about understanding what's native to this area, what grows well, and just putting it all together to create a really cool outdoor oasis for us and those that come and relax with us. So if you have any ideas, or if you've done things like this in this area or other places that are similar to this, we would love to hear. I would love to hear about it for sure. I'm really excited to build that part out. Any help or advice would be really appreciated as well. So let's go tour around some of the plants and rocks and see what kind of ideas we can come up with. Back up to the shed, and it looks like Thad's still working away, building some shelf supports. Oh, this doesn't look like a shelf support. This looks more like, ooh, this is exciting.
Big progress. The loft.
The loft. The loft support is coming together.
Which is also 1/3 the size of our house.
It's 1/3 the size of our house. And it's pretty much the same as all the other supports, just a little bit bigger. But it's starting to come along. Let's go, since he'll be doing that for a while, let's go check on the pups. They're in the house. They've had a couple days of running around, exploring this property, as well as we went for a hike yesterday. Oh, there's one. Hi, bub. There's two. What are you guys doing? You having a rest? They look like they're, whoop, hey, stay down. Look like they're re-energized. Yeah, they're really enjoying being here, exploring, checking things out, getting out all their energy. They definitely sleep well at night, which is really good. And because they've been checking things out and running around so much, they are a lot less energetic in the morning and don't mind snuggling and cuddling and sleeping in, which is also really nice. So, all right, so I just heard the generator kick back on, so that means that Thad's at a different stage. So we're gonna go check and see what he's up to now and if he needs any help. What you up to, babe?
All right, good timing. I'm ready to put in some spacer blocks in the loft and set the loft, which is definitely more of a two-person job. So come in, I'll show you what I'm gonna do. All right, starting to take shape. So this up here is just sitting here. That is the loft. And it needs to go 13 inches up in the air and get screwed off all the way around. These blocks are gonna go in the corner and the side, corner and the side. And so we'll put those in and then the loft will slide right up on top of the blocks. And it's one of those things where probably would have been easier to put the blocks in first, but the easy way is often the boring way. So, I need your help.
We have our first injury on site.
Phillips bits are the enemy of the universe. I detest them with a passion. But Phillips screws were like 30% cheaper than the Torque screws, so I cheaped out and bought Phillips screws. And I am regretting it. When you're pushing really hard, pushing a screw in and it pops off, wham! Comment if you've ever done that. Have you ever pierced yourself with a Phillips bit? It feels delightful. I normally would never care about this, but I married a first aid instructor, so she's more concerned with
Keeping it clean and not getting infections.
there, whatever she said. Sounds smart.
First of the plywood's in, got it cut, designed the shelves so that you just cut one in half and it would fit, which is pretty smart, no wasting. So we've got those two put in, and we're gonna get the rest done here in a second.
All right, construction temporarily pauses. There is Big Dog is right up there doing what he always does, playing, digging, sniffing, exploring all the stuff. Tucker, who knows, he gets a little sidetracked and chases butterflies and squirrels and all kinds of stuff.
Where'd you go?
Odie, where's your brother? Where did he go?
Tucker! He doesn't usually wander that far off.
He-
Tucker!
Are you sure he's not in the house?
He shouldn't be. I haven't been in there in a while. Last time I went, he Oh, good boy. Good boy, you were in here. Good
Look.
boy. Were you just resting? How did you get in here? Okay, you can go back to bed. Sorry. I was worried about you. Were you just resting?
He's like, you guys are out there looking all over, and I was just chilling, taking a nap, doing what I'm supposed to do.
Good boy. Okay, back to bed.
All right, back to bed, back to work. We're running out of daylight. We got to get these shelves finished.
The sun is starting to set. It is absolutely gorgeous. The temperature's dropping, which is a bit of a nice reprieve from the day's heat. And it's getting very dark in the shed. So we have these two lights that we bought, I think pretty cheap, like $9 for two or something, at like Bi-Mart in Idaho somewhere in our travels. We haven't had a ton of opportunities to use them, but they are coming in handy.
Okay, I think I got the loft piece ready to go. And I can see where you're at. I need to get you a t-shirt that says easily distracted by sunsets.
They're so beautiful.
And flowers and bugs and
Birds and
rocks and maybe it just needs to be easily distracted.
By nature
There you go.
and God's beautiful things.
We'll have a whole new series of t-shirts coming out. Off-Grid Dreamers, easily distracted gear.
Are you anxious to finish?
Yes.
Need my help?
We got like 2 pieces left.
All right, 2 pieces left. Let's get at her. Pitter patter. Let's get at her, right? Is that what you said?
All right, we didn't finish the whole project. We made a big dent in it. We will be knocking it out tomorrow and showing you the rest of the work. and then give you the world debut of the most efficient, organized, tiny shed right after we thoroughly enjoy the sunset. I mean, look at that. No editing, no nothing, just walk out and bam. That is not a bad view to clean up to.
Nope.
Ooh. Wow. That is just a whole different deal. All right, she's doing a lot of work. I'm doing a lot of staring at the sunset.
Somebody's distracted.
Apparently I'm easily distracted by sunsets as well. Must run in the family. All right, off to work. Good morning. It is beautiful and bright out, and we are getting ready to head back up to the property and take another stab at finishing this shed organizing project. We are staying down at some friend's place. The property they've got is about 15-20 minutes away from our property, and they've got some extra land and room and space down here, and ours is not ready for our big fifth wheel yet. In the days and weeks ahead, we'll be doing a lot of stuff up there to prep the property to get ready. But yeah, there's that monster. It's a big one. We've hauled it all around Canada, the United States. We've been back and forth across Canada a couple of times, around Lake Superior, up to the Yukon, down to the Mexico border. Very often people will get in there and go, holy cow, how did you get that thing back here? Patience and perseverance gets us to the places we like to be. We like to be remote. We like to have beautiful views, not a lot of people, all that kind of stuff. Our friends have got like a base camp here, and they're side by side, and they were kind enough to leave their side by side for us. So we're gonna jump in that and take the back roads. All right, I'm gonna round up my bride. I think we're gonna let the dogs have a lazy day in the RV, at least for just a couple hours. We're gonna go up, have a little bit of a short project, I think a shorter day on the project, and then we've got more stuff that we've got to tackle back here at the RV. So
Only my third time ever in a side-by-side. I did not grow up with motorized vehicles. I grew up cross-country skiing, biking, two wheels, everything was human-powered. Skateboarding, paddling, no motors involved whatsoever. So being married to this guy has expanded my world to motorized vehicles and fun, and I'm still getting used to it, but it's growing on me, so.
definitely a lot faster to get up here.
And smoother.
A lot faster, a lot smoother ride, and way more fun than bouncing up here in the dually. So, all right, let's get unpacked and get everything charging and turn.
Oh no.
Ah!
We have to go back. You left all the batteries.
I took all the batteries back down last night so we could plug everything in charge overnight, and I totally left the batteries in the back of the RV. Wah, wah, wah.
Well, guess we're going for another ride.
The only good thing about it is I get to go blaze by fast in the side-by-side, so...
It'll take less time than when we did this the last time. We forgot stuff the last time.
I wish I could say this is the first time we made it up to the property and then realized there was something we needed back down at the RV, but it's not.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Victory! Look, it's all where we left it last night in the dark. So we've got some pegboard that we're going to cut up for a couple of specific locations in there, and pretty straightforward, just measured out what we wanted. This is my cut piece, or this is my keep piece. So like we talked about before, cutting on the right side of the line, since I'm keeping this side, I'm going to make sure my saw blade goes down this outside edge over here, because this is the cutoff that we'll use for the next piece. And then I just want to show you how you set the saw depth. So you can see, obviously, the saw is way too deep right now. It's going to cut through anything that's below this. And so on the saw, there is an adjustment. And I like to just make sure I'm just barely beneath the material. And then I'm going to lock that adjustment. So now when I cut through, I'm only going to cut the depth of the pegboard, which you can adjust that to whichever material you're cutting. So now I can cut on this table on top of a couple sacrificial boards underneath there, and I'm just going to leave a little scratch in the board that won't hurt it. It's just a scrap board anyway, but it won't cut my work table. It's hard being short, but I stretched. It's not the prettiest cut ever by any means with this little teeny tiny thing, thin material and stretching, but it's okay for a shed. Victory!
Yay! Done for now.
Done for now. It's not done perfect done, but what DIY project actually gets all the way done? I mean, let's be honest.
It will.
It will. It will get all the way done, but we're to the spot where I want to take you on a tour, show you what we've got laid out. We've got a couple other plans in store. Let me show you around and see if I can max out all 10 types of storage. All right, first of all, number one, we've got a loft up top, which is going to be for seasonal stuff, and like everybody does in a loft, the kind of stuff that you don't get at very often. Number two, on the back wall, we've got these deep shelves that are 2 feet deep. We've got 18-inch tall ones and 2-foot tall ones, and those are strategically built for different size Rubbermaid totes that we've already kind of got in stock. On this wall, we've got the 18-inch deep shelf, also in 2 sizes for our pre-existing storage. This is really just sort of temporary stuff on storage. Number 4, we've got the sweet little workbench, which is sort of Kayla's special request. All right, number 5, we've got our pegboard on the wall over here, which is just very temporarily thrown up. We'll get this dialed in and organized when we get the rest of our gear here. We really don't have hardly anything here, but in the next month or two, all of our stuff will show up. Number 6, we strategically left out these big blocked out spaces for the big power tools. So we've got our chop saw on the stand back here, the 12-inch miter, and then up here on the other side of the workbench is where the table saw is going to live when it's stowed. All right, number 7 is right up here in the front corner of the shed. We purposely left this full height open so I can tuck things like my track saw tables back in the corner. We have a clam that we use for sitting in outside, like an outdoor pop-up tent. It's going to sit in the corner right there. Number 8 is right behind you down low. So I'll let you get turned around and we'll look down low. We've purposely left out this space blocked out because we've got 2 generators that we use on the property, and then when we travel, as we need a generator to supplement when solar's not available. And on this property, we don't have solar set up yet. Our fifth wheel toy hauler that we live in full time, fully off grid, everything's dialed in. We don't ever use a generator. But up here, we're not there yet. And so we are using a generator as needed. So we've got those both stowed away. All right, number 9 is perfect floor storage. So underneath the shelving area, we are taking advantage of the space below there, and that can be for heavy items. That could be for things that you think might leak, or your, like paint or extra stuff. And number 10, we got to take a step out there because I want to show you what we've got in store for number 10. It's not done yet, but we're going to take these gussets off and we're going to cover this door with pegboard, and it'll be glued and screwed, and it'll help create structure for the door to replace the integrity of the gussets. But it's going to make all of these squares storage space. So we'll have low, short pegboard type things on here that are just your normal everyday grab stuff. So when you just want to open the door quick and grab a dog leash or extra thing, or some of the toys, or clippers to cut down, what do you call these things out here that poke everybody?
Cholas.
Cholas? Is it chola? Choya? Cholo? I'm terrible. I don't know.
Maybe choya.
It's you guys are gonna have to help us in the comments. I just know they look like Dr. Seuss plants. There's one right there. They look like Dr. Seuss plants. It's obvious. Don't go near it. Don't brush up against it. That's not a big deal. The problem is they kick off and disperse these little Death Star things that blow around in the wind, and then everywhere you walk, you're getting those dang little pokey things in you. I call them Death Stars. I don't know. It's worse than a Lego. All right, back to the shed. So it's 85%. I wouldn't call it 100%, but it's close. And when we're all said and done, the decking will get screwed down, our few little tweaks will get made, the rest of our supplies and storage and stuff will come. We got friends bringing it from Idaho later in a month or two. And we've got stuff at our other friends' property. We've got stuff scattered all over the place. But as we gather it, it'll get dialed in. We'll give you updates on the shed organization, strategy, and how it's all coming together. We'll get lights put up in here. Maybe down the road, we will insulate. It's sort of undecided. I looked into spray foam in this thing, and it would cost about $400 to $500 to do a DIY spray foam, and I just didn't want to commit $400 or $500 to spray foam it. I could probably insulate it with batts for $200, $250. So we may do that.
All right, a lot of you might laugh, but he was talking about insulation and this and that, and he said spray foam or bats. And I'm guessing he didn't mean real bats, but I don't know any other kind of bats, because
fruit bats, vampire bats, they're very dense insulating quality.
Baseball bats.
Or baseball bats. We could line the walls with baseball bats.
That would be good. I'm guessing that wasn't what you were talking about.
For the record, we are not going to line the shed with fruit bats, vampire bats, any other type of bats, or baseball bats. Insulation comes in rolls or bats, which is a funny name now I'm aware of, because it's just what I've always known because I've been around it a long time. But it's a batt is a pre-cut chunk of insulation that's made to fit the length of a stud wall.
It's a bad name for it. You could just call it pre-cut insulation. Square. A square of insulation.
A square of insulation. Insulation rectangles.
Insulation
nuggets.
Cuts, something.
Bits and lengths.
All right. Whoever came up with that name, you'll have to explain it to me.
Yeah, there must be some history behind how pieces of insulation became called batts of insulation, and it's actually spelled B-A-T-T-S.
Oh.
So maybe if you had the spelling, you would have
Maybe.
I don't know. All right. Anyways, we may put bats. We may put spray foam. We don't know what we're gonna do, but what we are gonna do is go back down to the other property where the RV and the dogs are. We're gonna go make some lunch.
Yes.
And we're gonna get to work on lots of other things we've got going on.
Life stuff.
Lots of other life stuff besides off-grid property projects, which are abundant these days. But yeah, we're super excited. If you haven't checked out some of the other videos on our channel, like the one that we put out last week, where our first reveal, first time ever coming up on the property since we bought it, it is epic. There is some beautiful footage of the property. You're definitely going to want to check that one out, which is going to pop up right here after this. We'll see you guys next week. What do you think of your workbench, babe?
It's pretty fab.
It may not be the biggest workbench.
I can see myself getting a lot of work done here.
I I can see you getting easily distracted by sunsets
Hmm.
and Tweety birds. We need to hang a bird feeder out there so you can work on painting rocks and doing cool little art projects and watch the Tweety birds.
That sounds pretty glorious.
That would make my wife happy. She loves birds.